All right, see if you can wing it. So here we go. My top 5 defensive players, and this guy, number 1, has been my number 1 pick for the last several years. I've got him on 2 of my dynasty teams. Oluokun, he's just so good. Oluokun is just so good, and I've got him at number 1. Number 2.
In case you don't know, that's the linebacker for the Jaguars.
Yeah, he's really good. Number 2, T.J. Watt. Number 3, Max Crosby. Now here's where I'm going to step outside the box.
Okay.
Because he's going to be in Houston this year. Okay? And that's going to put him right next to Will Anderson, and I think Danielle Hunter can blow up. I really do. So I think I think he can end up in the top 5 in points. And number 5, Nick Bosa. So that's my 5 IDPs.
All right. Go ahead, Brandon.
All right. So then you have the guy from Jacksonville.
Mm-hmm.
Number 1, yeah, I'd go with the same one. He's consistent. You know, every year he's going to be there. After that, I like T.J. Watt. He's also a flex.
Yep.
And so you can start him at 2 different positions. He's going to get the sack numbers and stuff like that. After that,
Well, it's kind of hard to pick other than really if you're looking at who scores the most points.
Linebackers and
defensively.
defensive ends.
It's
Yeah.
going to be and that's
Safeties
yeah.
are going to be up there.
Yeah, because there's only one safety, one defensive back that made the top 10 last year. That was Antoine Winfield. In 2022, there was only one defensive back that made it. That was Jalen Petrie from the Texans, by the way.
Yep.
And then when we look at 2021, there was not a single defensive back that made the top 10 in points. So
yeah, I'm on my phone here trying to just find one to maybe put in there. It's just I can't do it.
you can't.
And someone
Not if you're going big
Who
and
plays
bold.
secondary? I can't
Yeah.
put one in there. I do agree with you with Bosa, Nick Bosa. I think he's just going to be really good this upcoming season. I agree with the Hunter pick as well. Once again, he's a flex. And Micah Parsons will be my next. And 3 of those guys, at least on Sleeper, which is what we play on, are flexes. So you have options there of where to put them.
Absolutely. Fine reasoning. My number 1 is Roquan Smith, linebacker for the Baltimore Ravens. Not only is it going to be his 3rd year playing with the Ravens, but they also lost Patrick Queen last year. So I think that's going to open up things for him. Number 2 is a local one, linebacker for the Jaguars. The dude is just all over the field. He plays till the whistle and then some, and he's just such a great player. My number 3, I got to go with T.J. Watt. Defensive lineman, he's going to be in the argument for sack leader of the year by the end of the year when it comes to it. No doubt in my mind, he's a great player. My 4, this will be a surprise. I don't even know if you all have heard of this guy. I actually picked him up in the league that Kelly runs. I picked him up off waiver wires to be a keeper. So the Los Angeles Rams from last year to this year, they lost Bobby Wagner. He went to Washington. They got a guy named Ernest Jones. He's a linebacker. He's going into his 4th year. So let me just read y'all about how he has progressed. And I love him looking at him. So his 1st year in the league, he was behind Bobby Wagner, 58 tackles. Not a lot, but not bad. His 2nd year, Bobby Wagner left. He became the 2nd linebacker in rotation, 113 tackles. Respectable. Last year, with Bobby Wagner being the backup, the 2nd linebacker, he had 145 tackles, 4.5 sacks. And so this year, he's projected to take over play calling on the defensive side of the ball, along with being the number 1 linebacker. Oh, and last year, those points were only in 15 games. So he's a guy I really, really like. In case you haven't heard of him, I encourage you to look him up. And then jumping back over to the defensive line, I'm going to call the breakout this year, Aiden Hutchinson. You look at T.J. Watt, and he had a respectable 1st year, and then he came out in year 2, and he lit the world on fire. So when he had his 5-6 batted balls, 20.5 sacks, Aiden Hutchinson is going to come out. And if the Detroit Lions are going to make the Super Bowl, he's got to have a defensive MVP kind of season.